The wars, the violence, the misery that's happening in every country in this world. The world is full of hate. Teach your kids what they should be doing, what they shouldn't be doing. Let them learn from their mistakes. Coach Greg, in today's video, is it okay to promote your use of performance-enhancing drugs on social media? I'm going to be going over Shane Stoffer, aka TOGI, who's a fitness model, and in the last year or so, he's put on about 50 pounds of muscle. He admittedly went from being natural, where he's flexing, posing, had a great physique, to now being larger than life, but on performance-enhancing drugs. And so he's open, honest, transparent. He's telling you what he's taking. He's literally showing you with the needle, although it's blocked out. And so is he doing anything wrong?
And it's like, I'm just supposed to not be who I am because the existence of kids. And really, at the end of the day, if you're a kid and you want to take drugs, like, I don't give a fuck.
And so essentially he's saying this: look, I ain't your father. I'm not a role model. I don't want that job. I'm a 20-year-old kid. What do I know? I do this, I do that, I take this and take that, as he's drawing a needle out from perhaps testosterone or something. And he's saying, I don't give a cookbook. You do you, I'm going to do me. And are there kids that are going to watch this that perhaps are going to be negative influenced? Yeah, of course they are. But for every bad influencer, there's a good influencer. And are we going to now stifle every single person that doesn't say or do what you want them to say or do? And should we be censoring everyone? We only allow certain people to speak. And so imagine if this happened. On YouTube, you can't talk about steroids. You can't mention any of it. And so my channel, any video on anything to do with performance-enhancing drugs is taken down. Would that be a net positive or a net negative? We don't teach anyone anything, neither the good, the bad, the ugly, none of it. And in reality, how can we censor anyone? How do we know what's good and or bad? Who is going to be in charge of filtering out through the good and filtering out through the bad? Is somebody going to say, wow, I watched this video on Anavar and I deemed it not appropriate? Delete. Or I watched this video on Anavar, yeah, I agree with it. Imagine the power that gives that one person. When you start censoring people, that is a slippery slope. How do you know if you're censoring the good versus the bad? We don't know. It's a matter of someone's individual personal opinion. And so to me, that is scary. And so I'd rather see a variety of videos, both good and bad. He's just saying what he's doing. He's not saying you should do it. He's not saying, hey, I want you to do this. He's saying, I'm doing this. And so whatever happened to having parents or a guardian? Are they not responsible for watching what their kids are doing? Why is it that everyone has to blame everyone else and no one can take self-responsibility for what they're doing? If you're a parent letting your kid go on Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, and you're not monitoring what they're watching, then what do you expect? You don't think they're seeing any nudes? They're not watching this, watching that? Of course they are. And so rather than blaming everyone else and saying, oh, my kid's affected by this. Oh, that Coach Greg talked about steroids. What a bad person. Why don't you, for once in your life, look what your kids are actually doing? And so stop blaming other people. This kid is talking about what he's doing. And you're going to shit on him because he's just not a positive role model? Does he look like a positive role model to you? I don't think so. And so don't let your kids watch that. Look at all the movies out there. Look at what is going on in this world. Are you going to filter out everything? Prevent them from seeing all the shit that's going on in this world? The wars, the violence, the misery that's happening in every country in this world? The world is full of hate. But if we just filter out all of the hate, all the bad things that are happening in this world, are we actually teaching our children to be ready to become adults? I don't think so. They need to be exposed to this. Eventually, you're not going to be able to monitor what they're watching. Eventually, they're going to make their own decisions. And so what you need to do as a parent is instill values. Teach your kids what they should be doing, what they shouldn't be doing. Let them learn from their mistakes. And so if you don't like what this kid is doing, don't let your kids watch him. He is not you. He's not their parent.
Who am I to tell these kids what they should and should not do? I'm not your dad. I'm not your doctor. And, you know, if I were to tell you, don't do drugs, like, that would just make me a hypocrite.
And so would it be better if he just made videos and lied and was not his authentic self and just said, yeah, I'm natural, and lied and pretended and said, don't do drugs, kids, and he was lying? Would it be better if he was The Rock and never talked about the fact that he's using performance-enhancing drugs? You think The Rock is natural? And so is it better to lie or is it better to tell the truth? Well, Jordan Peterson said, always tell the truth or at least don't lie. And so is he not being truthful? Is he not being honest? And so as a parent, you could show your kid this video and say, what do you think of this? Kid 16, watch this. Yeah, I kind of would like steroids. The dad, mom, the guardian could say to kid, well, are you aware of the negative side effects? Do you know what could happen if you do this? And you could teach them. It becomes a teachable moment. And so rather than just pretending that it doesn't exist, rather than just pretending the kids aren't actually sneaking around and watching these things, teach them to have proper values.
I did plenty of drugs as a kid. I'm not going to sit here on my high horse and be like, oh, don't do that. And who are you to tell me to be a good influence? You know, like, you go influence some people. I'm not even trying to influence people. I'm just, you know, talking about my life, sharing my experience on this app.
And so he's not trying to be a positive influence. He's just trying to be himself. He's like, this is me. And so think of this. If he wasn't doing YouTube videos, do you not think he'd be talking to his friends? Hey, I did this. I took that. I injected this. I swallowed that. This is what kids are going to encounter in the real world. They're going off to university and you taught your kids, oh, don't drink. Then all of a sudden they go to university and everyone's drinking. And so if you haven't taught them, hey, do you value being sober? Do you value yourself? You have to teach them to say yes, teach them to say no. You have to practice these scenarios and give them the knowledge, because with knowledge comes power. If you educate them, you teach them everything, when they get into these circumstances, they can then get themselves out. But if you just pretend that these things don't exist, oh, my kids would never do that. Are you kidding me? I was a school teacher 11 years. You don't think I know what kids do behind your back? And so next time you think, it could never happen to my kids, think again, they probably did twice as many things you would never believe. And if you have an environment where you don't allow them to talk to you, an open environment where they can talk, they're just going to lie. They're not going to tell you. They're going to be scared to open up. And so please talk to your children, have an open and inviting space where people can just be honest.
I'm a 21-year-old frat dude. I'm not even qualified to be a good influence.
And so think of it. Imagine he's a 20-year-old frat boy. Do you really want him to be some kind of a positive influence? Is this the positive influence you would choose? And so let's pretend he's being a fake person. He's going to make a video and say, hi guys, I'm natural. I don't take anything. He's put on 50 pounds in the last year. Is this really the influence you want to have on your kids? Do you really want them watching this? And so as a parent say, yeah, I don't want you to watch that. Choose someone better. There's millions of YouTubers out there, TikTokers and so on. Why not pick somebody that you want your kids to look up to? And so in 10 months, he's put on 45 pounds of muscle, going from natural to enhanced, and he's only 21 years of age. And so clearly that's amazing transformation. But remember, he didn't do this natural. And so yes, this is impressive, but could he have not waited? Do you not think he would have still put on some muscle? Do you really need to make all those gains in 10 months? Imagine, you put on 45 pounds of muscle in 10 months. Are you then going to be happy the 10 months after? You can't continue to make gains like this. And so if you put on that much muscle this quickly and you stop taking the steroids, what do you think is going to happen to those 45 pounds? You're going to lose a shit ton of it. You're going to have loss of libido, loss of sex drive, low energy, low mood. You're going to go to the gym every single week and lose muscle and look deflated. It's going to be a nightmare. You perhaps will need a PCT. You might be doing damage to your liver, to your organs, and so on. And so please be careful. The more gains you make in a shorter period of time, the more dangerous it is for your health. And even if, and that's a big if, you use performance-enhancing drugs, remember, never break the law and always do so only with the advice and consent for your doctor. You should be doing the lowest dose that makes you happy. And if you gain 45 pounds, of course you're happy, but you don't think he would have been happy had he put on 20 pounds of muscle? Do we really need to make all of those gains this frickin' quickly?
The reverse body dysmorphia of these natties is getting out of hand. This guy's got a pretty big following, so it seems more fair to use him as an example than somebody random in my comments. But in this video, he's claiming to mog me. And yeah, he does look great, you know, not quite as lean as me, but great physique. But here's the problem. He's as tall as the Trend Twins, which is like 5'7".
And so no, the Trend Twins, not 5'7". They're actually a bit shorter than that. And so reverse body dysmorphia would be when you're more confident than you actually are. To me, that is better than having body dysmorphia. If you think you're better and look better than you are, at least you're going to have some confidence. Perhaps you're not going to go on these crazy diets, crash diets where you lower your body's natural production of testosterone. And remember, there are supplements that you can take that are natural that can help you to put on muscle. For example, G-test can increase your natural production of testosterone. Also have 3 tests. And so before you take all these things, why not at least experiment with something like this? Also, GO2 max, more energy, endurance, as well as Ecti Builder and Turk Builder. Remember, in Turk Builder, there's actual testosterone. We have all the studies showing this. And in Ecti Builder, various Ecti steroids, also good at building muscle. I'm taking both. I absolutely love these supplements. Please, if you're interested, code Greg, 10% off. Click the link in description. And so one cycle can't hurt. Well, in fact, it can. But what I want to highlight is the transformation that he made here. This is not a normal transformation. And so if I had 100 people that took the exact same thing as him, I do believe that his results are better than 99 of them. And so just because you take performance-enhancing drugs, do not expect to put on this amount of muscle. 45 pounds in 10 months, it's not normal. His body has clearly got the genetics for using PDs and making them work more effective than most people. And so remember this, the majority of people who are taking steroids, you can't even tell. Remember, I know this for a fact. I've been involved in this for decades. Most people taking steroids, they don't look like professional bodybuilders. They don't look like they have a ton of muscle. They're guys with below average physiques who just take steroids to look average. And so if you have shitty genetics and use steroids, you're not going to look like an amazing bodybuilder. But if you have amazing genetics and you take steroids, well, perhaps then you become like Chris Bumstead. But for the most part, people are going to be somewhere in the middle. 45 pounds in 10 months, it's truly an outlier. The vast majority of people not even going to make half of these gains. And so I caution you, be careful. Hold off as long as possible. And to me, 21 years of age, far too young to be using steroids. And so let me know in the comment section, should people be allowed to openly discuss steroids? Should be able to say, hey, I'm taking this and taking that? Or should they be canceled and not allowed to say what they're doing? Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Don't forget to like the video if you in fact liked it. Watch one of those two bloops. And of course, cookbooks, training books, Circle diet book, all kinds of stuff. Please go to the website, code Greg, 10% off. Also have a harder than last time clothing line. You can pick up clothes, various clothes on there. Amazing quality. Head over to the website. And until next time, I am out.